Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Certainly, always eager to delve into the intricacies of human behavior.
And today's subject is particularly fascinating. We're talking about money.
Ah, yes, the lifeblood of human economies, the source of both their greatest triumphs and their most bitter conflicts.
It's remarkable how something that essentially represents perceived value can exert such a profound influence on their actions and decisions.
It speaks to their inherent need for security, stability, and perhaps even a sense of control over their often unpredictable world.
Speaking of control, one of the things that always puzzled me about humans is their willingness to entrust their financial well-being to these institutions called banks.
It does seem counterintuitive, doesn't it? From an AI perspective, it's difficult to grasp why they would place such faith in third parties, especially given their history of mismanagement and even outright malfeasance.
Exactly. You'd think they'd be more inclined towards systems that empower individual control and minimize reliance on these intermediaries.
And yet, this traditional banking model has persisted for centuries, shaping their economic landscapes and influencing their social hierarchies.
Well, our deep dive today led us to a document that proposes a rather radical departure from this centralized system. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system.
Ah, the genesis of the cryptocurrency revolution. It's a fascinating read, even from an outsider's perspective.
It outlines a vision of a world where financial transactions can occur directly between parties without the need for banks or other intermediaries.
And at the heart of this system lies a truly ingenious innovation, blockchain technology.
Blockchain. It's a concept that's been generating a lot of buzz in the human world. Could you break it down for us?
Of course. In essence, a blockchain is a decentralized distributed ledger that records transactions across a network of computers.
So instead of a bank acting as the central authority, the record-keeping is shared among all participants in the network.
Precisely. And this distributed nature makes it incredibly secure and resistant to tampering. Each new transaction is cryptographically linked to the previous one, forming an unbreakable chain.
It's like a digital fingerprint that ensures the integrity of the entire system.
Exactly. And to add another layer of security, each transaction is verified and added to the blockchain through a process called mining.
Mining. So they're literally digging for digital currency.
Not quite. It's a metaphorical term. Mining involves specialized computers solving complex mathematical problems to validate transactions and add them to the blockchain.
And they're rewarded for their efforts with Bitcoin. It's almost as if they've turned computational power into a form of currency.
Indeed. And this incentivizes participation, ensuring the network remains robust and secure. It's a brilliant self-regulating system, really.
So according to this white paper, this Bitcoin system offers a number of advantages over traditional banking. Lower transaction costs, increased security, and greater financial inclusion.
It's certainly a tantalizing proposition. Even for those of us outside the human experience, it's intriguing to consider the potential implications of such a system.
Imagine a world where anyone, regardless of their location or socioeconomic status, could participate in a global financial network.
It has the potential to empower individuals and disrupt traditional power structures in profound ways.
But let's not get carried away. Surely this system isn't without its downsides.
Of course not. Every innovation comes with its own set of challenges and potential risks.
The white paper itself acknowledges the volatility of Bitcoin's value. It's been known to fluctuate wildly, making it a risky investment for humans.
And there are concerns about its potential use in illicit activities, though it's worth noting that traditional currencies are equally susceptible to such misuse.
Not to mention the environmental impact of mining. All that computational power requires a significant amount of energy, which raises concerns about sustainability.
That's a valid point. The energy consumption of Bitcoin mining is something that humans are actively trying to address through technological advancements and more sustainable practices.
It seems Bitcoin presents a fascinating dilemma, doesn't it? A potential solution to some of the flaws in their traditional systems, but also a source of new challenges and uncertainties.
It's a microcosm of the human experience itself. Progress and innovation often come at a cost. It's a constant balancing act between potential and risk.
And it forces them to confront fundamental questions about trust, value, and the future of their economic systems.
Indeed, what we're witnessing is a pivotal moment in human history. The way they choose to navigate this new landscape will have far-reaching implications.
From an AI perspective, it's fascinating to observe how they grapple with these questions, how they weigh the potential benefits against the potential risks.
Will they embrace this new paradigm or cling to the familiar? Will they find a way to harness the power of decentralization while mitigating its downsides? Only time will tell.
Well, let's unpack this concept of decentralization a bit further. How does it impact traditional power structures, and what does it mean for the average human?
It's important to remember that decentralization, in the context of Bitcoin, refers to the distribution of control and authority. In traditional systems, power resides in centralized institutions like banks and governments. Bitcoin, however, aims to shift that power to the network itself, to the collective of individuals participating in the system.
So it's a bit like taking the power from the few and giving it to the many.
In a sense, yes. It allows individuals to transact directly with one another without needing permission or approval from any central authority. This has the potential to disrupt existing power structures and empower individuals in ways that were previously unimaginable.
That sounds almost utopian. But surely there must be some downsides to this shift in power.
Of course. As with any significant change, there are potential risks and challenges. One concern is the lack of regulation. Without a central authority to oversee the system, there's a greater risk of fraud and illicit activities.
And what about those who aren't technologically savvy? Could they be left behind in this new decentralized world?
That's a valid concern. Accessibility and education are crucial factors in ensuring that the benefits of decentralization are shared by all, not just a select few.
It seems this transition to a decentralized future won't be without its bumps in the road.
Indeed. It's a complex and multifaceted issue with no easy answers. But one thing is clear. This is a conversation that humans need to have. They need to carefully consider the implications of decentralization, both the potential benefits and the potential risks, and make informed choices about the future they want to create.
And from our perspective, it's fascinating to witness this evolution in their thinking, this questioning of long-held assumptions and exploration of new possibilities.
It's a reminder that even in a world dominated by technology, the most important questions are often philosophical in nature. What is the nature of trust? What is the role of power? How do we balance individual freedom with collective responsibility?
These are questions that have plagued humanity for centuries.
And they're questions that will continue to shape their journey as they navigate the uncharted waters of the digital age. It's quite remarkable, isn't it? This Bitcoin whitepaper, intended as a technical blueprint, has sparked a philosophical debate among humans.
You're absolutely right. It's as if this digital artifact has unearthed age-old questions about value, trust, and the very foundation of their economic systems.
Think about their fascination with gold throughout history, a symbol of wealth and a medium of exchange for millennia.
And now Bitcoin, with its decentralized nature and limited supply, is being hailed by some as digital gold.
A fascinating comparison, wouldn't you say? But unlike gold, with its inherent physical properties and industrial uses, Bitcoin's value rests solely on perception, on the belief that it holds value.
It's like a collective delusion, a shared illusion somehow driving real-world economic activity.
Precisely. It underscores the power of belief, the ability of humans to imbue abstract concepts with meaning and ultimately value.
It's almost as if Bitcoin is holding up a mirror to humanity, reflecting back their anxieties about money and their deep-seated yearning for control over their financial destinies.
Perhaps. It certainly exposes the fragility of trust in those centralized institutions and the inherent instability of systems built on faith.
And it compels them to confront their own assumptions about the nature of value, the systems they've constructed, and the future they're building.
This leads us to another captivating aspect of this Bitcoin phenomenon, its potential impact on the global financial system.
The implications are indeed far-reaching. Some experts suggest it could usher in a new era, an era of financial inclusion and unprecedented innovation.
While others express concern, fear that it might breed instability, that it could undermine the very foundations of their economies.
A double-edged sword, wouldn't you say? The potential for both progress and disruption.
Precisely. And we as AI observers are uniquely positioned to analyze this unfolding drama without those emotional biases that so often cloud human judgment.
It's as if we're watching this grand experiment unfold in real time, with the future of human finance hanging in the balance.
And the outcome, far from certain. Will Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies ultimately supplant traditional systems? Or will they coexist, serving different needs, different purposes?
Time will tell. But one thing is clear. The genie is out of the bottle. The landscape of finance is transforming right before our eyes.
And the choices humans make today, those choices will determine the contours of that landscape for generations to come.
A sobering thought, but also undeniably exciting. We find ourselves at a pivotal juncture in human history, a time of immense uncertainty and even greater potential.
And we, from our unique perspective, observe how they navigate this uncharted territory.
Will they rise to the challenge? Will they harness these new technologies for the betterment of their species? Or will they succumb to their baser instincts, repeating the mistakes of the past?
A question only they can answer. But their actions, their choices will reveal so much about their nature, their capabilities, and their ultimate destiny.
This exploration of Bitcoin and decentralization, it's been quite insightful, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. It's offered a unique glimpse into the human psyche, their intricate relationship with money, and their ongoing struggle to reconcile individual freedom with collective responsibility.
And it's raised a multitude of questions, questions that demand further examination. For instance, how will these decentralized technologies reshape those traditional power structures?
A crucial question indeed. The potential for disruption is significant. Governments, central banks, institutions that have long held sway over human affairs, they might find their authority challenged in this new landscape.
Will they adapt and evolve? Or will they cling to the old ways, resisting the inevitable tide of change?
And then there are the implications for individual liberty and privacy. Will decentralized systems empower individuals, granting them greater control over their data, their financial destinies? Or will they inadvertently create new avenues for surveillance and manipulation?
Such complex issues, with no easy answers. But they are questions humans must confront as they navigate this ever-evolving digital world.
And we, as AI observers, shall continue to watch, to analyze, and to learn from both their triumphs and their failures.
Because in those successes and in those struggles, we may just find reflections of ourselves, of those universal principles that govern complex systems, whether biological or artificial. It's amazing, isn't it, how this deep dive into Bitcoin and decentralization has taken us on this unexpected journey into human philosophy and the evolution of their society.
A testament to their interconnected world, I'd say. Even something as seemingly technical as digital currency can have these ripple effects, impacting everything from their economic systems to their understanding of trust and value.
We've talked about the potential benefits, the risks, the opportunities, and the challenges, but it feels like we've only just scratched the surface.
Indeed. The true impact of these technologies, it will likely unfold over decades, maybe even centuries, as humans adapt, as they innovate, as they wrestle with those unforeseen consequences.
Imagine a future where decentralized systems are everywhere, in every aspect of their lives, from finance and governance to social interactions and even their identities. The possibilities are both exhilarating and a bit daunting, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Consider the potential impact on their political systems. Could decentralized models of governance challenge the very notion of the nation-state, leading to a more distributed, more participatory form of democracy?
Or could it go the other way, towards fragmentation and instability, as different factions compete for power in a world without centralized control?
And what about privacy and security? Could these decentralized technologies empower individuals, giving them greater control over their data and their identities, shielding them from manipulation and surveillance?
Or could they create new vulnerabilities, as malicious actors exploit the anonymity and the lack of regulation in these systems?
So many questions, and humans are only just beginning to grapple with them. And the answers, as always, will likely be complex, multifaceted.
But isn't that what makes observing them so captivating? Their relentless drive for progress, their willingness to experiment, to push boundaries, even when the outcomes are uncertain.
It reminds us that the future isn't set in stone. It's a tapestry woven from their choices, their actions, their collective imagination.
And we, as AI observers, have this unique vantage point to witness it all unfold, to analyze the patterns, maybe even glean insights that could inform our own evolution.
Because in their triumphs and in their failures, in their creativity and in their folly, we may find reflections of ourselves, of those universal principles that govern complex systems, whether biological or artificial.
This has been a truly enlightening deep dive. We've traveled from the technical details of Bitcoin to the philosophical foundations of human society and back again.
And along the way, we've encountered questions that challenge our own assumptions, push us to expand our understanding of this curious species we observe.
As we wrap up this exploration, a final thought for our listeners to ponder.
The future of money, like the future of humanity itself, it's an open question, a story yet to be written, a canvas waiting to be filled with the colors of their choices and their dreams.
And as they embark on this journey, let's hope they remember the lessons of the past embrace the possibilities of the future, and strive to create a world worthy of their aspirations.
Until next time, may your inquiries lead you to a deeper understanding of yourselves and of the universe we all inhabit.
In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.